All right, so Kaylee and I are together here to talk about Together. We were trying to come up with some clever opening with some joint name.
Kaylee or Jason? Or wait, Jaylee?
Kaylee is your actual name.
Sorry, Jaylee or Kaysen?
Jaylee makes more sense.
Jaylee sounds like weird though.
Jaylee sounds like some Jersey Shore friggin' person. Yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Let's talk about Together. Yes. Yeah, if I would have had like some kind of wig, but you don't even have any hair, I'd have to like.
I know our hair is like not that different right now.
My hair's pretty.
Your hair's longer.
My hair's much longer than yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay, spoiler discussion. Once again, as always, no notes. Stream of consciousness.
We watched it last night.
Yeah, we watched it last night.
We watched another movie in between, and we've worked and done things, so.
Whatever. Okay, whatever.
I'm just prefacing it, so people know.
Yeah. So I guess we'll start at the beginning here with.
Let's start at the end.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. We can start at the beginning.
I don't want to be mashed together with you now.
No. Okay.
If we did, though, we'd meet somewhere in the middle. Since you want to start at the end and I want to start at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, we would start in the middle.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's start at the middle. No, let's start at the beginning. So they are moving away. They're already showing that they have pretty strong relationship issues.
Yeah. They're just at, like, totally... I don't know. This is a sucky situation because I feel like he really is trying to be supportive, but it's like one of those scenarios where one partner is like a lot more successful than the other partner, and so there's resentment and bad feelings around that.
Yeah, I mean, she's just in a different place in her life.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's really what it comes down to. He's still trying to do the musician thing. He's still trying to live the dream. And she's, more practical. She's got her career. She is successful. She, when she gets to that school, when she talks to the teacher, he was like, oh man, we were like kind of honored to even be considered by someone with your resume.
Yeah.
Right? So she's clearly like a pretty...
she's like well established in her field.
Yeah.
And kind of like a catch for her new employer, for sure. And he's like can't drive. That's like something that they bring up all the time in the film, which is funny and kind of shitty because they do live in the city. Like a lot of people that live in really big metropolitan areas, especially because are they in New York, right? That's where they're at, I think. Or Chicago, maybe?
I don't remember.
I think they're supposed to be, like, in New York City.
Yeah, a lot of people there don't drive.
Why would you drive?
Yeah.
Why would you drive? Like, that would never be something that I think would be, like, fair to shit on somebody for.
I don't know if he's ever shit on for
Oh,
it.
totally he is. She brings it up again later as, like, a dig at him, and I think it's brought up a few times kind of in a condescending sort of you're a 30-year-old that can't drive, you fucking loser type of way.
I mean, yes, once it escalates to that level, I think at that point she's just kind of throwing everything against the wall that'll stick something. Because, okay, here's the thing. and men can do this for sure as well, but I've never dated a man. So my experience is primarily with women, and on the women's side of things, in my personal anecdotal experience, is that women will make mental notes on kind of everything a man feels insecure about, and then once a fight breaks out, she will pull that out of her as her arsenal.
I've never done that with anybody.
She will go after everything, whether she believes it or not. Mostly not.
I don't know.
She just loves to go after all of those weak points, right? Because realistically, we've talked about this before, but like typically, obviously I'm generalizing here, but that's for the discussion. Men are typically physically more, strong, and so a woman has to counter that by,
yeah, I know what you mean, like, by being, like, kind of verbally sharp or using her mental whatever to dig at him and stuff. I think that probably isn't only a female thing. I think it's just because you have only dated women, because I think that type of thing, like the saving the insecurities and stuff, could definitely be done by men and women alike. It's just a tactic that some partners use, and it's obviously really unhealthy, because we've kind of I don't know if we've talked about this on the channel, but we've talked about it, like, in our personal life. If, like, you're having a fight with your partner about something small and then a bunch of other things start coming out, clearly there's a larger issue, right, that's causing the fights. And that's the case in this movie with them, for sure. Like, when they have these fights, they're little fights kind of about simpler things that really are about the state of their relationship as a whole.
I mean, that's almost always the case.
Well, sure.
The fights always are about, the way that they left this on the counter or whatever, but what's really at the core of it is the unhappiness of the relationship overall. So that's pretty common. But yeah, I mean, anyway, their relationship definitely is not in a good place, and there is such an awkwardness that made you feel like you wanted to fucking die.
I hated this scene.
Got down on her knee and proposed, and he, like, just froze.
Oh, no, because we were talking in the car afterwards, and I'm like, you have to know that your partner is on board with marriage, and that would be something that they would be likely to accept, to do it in front, like, as a surprise, in front of a lot of people. Either it's something that you both know you want, and you're for sure like, yes, we want this at some point. And when we were talking about it, it was like, but it's fair for her to think, hey, we're moving out of the city, we're getting a house, we're doing these steps, taking the plunge that couples do, right, to start their lives together. So it would make sense for her to think marriage would be included in that, potentially.
Yeah.
But I just think she puts him on the spot, and it's so awkward and so uncomfortable. One person claps after he's like, yeah, of course, like, yeah. And I felt bad for him there, because I feel like if I was in his situation, I would be the exact same way, where if I was like really unsure of what was happening in the relationship and then was just put on the spot, it would be so uncomfortable, and because you don't want to say no and embarrass them and then ruin your relationship, but he's maybe like he's just not ready to commit to that at that point, which we talked about too. A big part of this film is about commitment in a relationship.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know exactly what to make of the film's message. That's why I had previously stated that I feel like this is some kind of test to see how you view monogamy and commitment long term, because you had an interpretation of this, and I had kind of an opposite interpretation
which is
of it.
Weird, because between the two of us, I'm very much like, not that you're not a commitment guy, but you've had a lot more relationships, and you're much more like, I don't know what the word to like describe you. I'm not trying. I don't want to be like too candid about it, but like,
I'm not helping her. I'm just
waiting. Like we've just talked about monogamy in general. I'm someone who's really happy in a monogamous relationship. Like, that's very fulfilling to me. Like, don't want any other kind of romantic relationship. Whereas for you, we've talked about you would be somebody that could or could not have monogamy type of a thing, right?
Sure.
And like, it's not. I mean, it's important in our relationship. Like, that's what I guess I'm trying to, like, not be weird about. Like, we're obviously monogamous, but if we weren't together, or if our relationship was different and you had opportunities to be with other people or whatever, like, the monogamy isn't, like, the really important part to you. Is that fair to kind of, like, say? Maybe? Yeah. So the reason I thought that was funny is because your initial interpretation of the film, which I'll let you say, was different than mine, which was a lot more of a negative take on the film and about the commitment and the monogamy happening in this. which is funny to me because, like I just explained, I'm someone who really does think monogamy can be fantastic for people, especially at least for me. I'll just speak for myself, but I think that both interpretations work, but their relationship as seen in the film, to me, is a very dysfunctional, bad relationship, and there are so many signs that they do need to split apart, that they're not on the same page, at least right now in their lives, and the only way they make it work is by one of them compromising, which can happen in relationships, but it just seems like the compromise ultimately makes... because he's the one compromising for her, and it seems like it's making him miserable rather than being like, well, like, I wanted to do this, but my relationship with her is more important, and like our life is more important, so you know what I mean? Like, that's why I think ultimately I took it more negatively.
I mean, I think that the film can be interpreted in quite a few ways, one of which is the fear of the loss of your identity.
Yeah.
As, you know, of who you are. And, you know, when we are by ourselves, we are free to do and be whoever we want. When we're in a relationship, that's curtailed a bit, right? Like, not completely, depending on the relationship.
It depends on the relationship.
Right? If you're with somebody who's super controlling and all this,
yeah,
obviously you're going to lose a lot of your identity. But even in the best of relationships, you still are a partnership.
Yeah.
And being partners, there is a bit of a compromise. There is a bit of, you know, putting aside all of your desires, all of your wants, all of everything selfishly.
Right. And
you have to, you know, meet your partner on things, and you have to change certain things in order for this to fit, for it to work. Now, obviously, like, if you're in a really, really good relationship, you know, the way that I've always explained relationships is like puzzle pieces. And when puzzle pieces, like, are meant to be together, right? I always explain, like, a relationship that's pretty good is kind of like the two sky pieces that kind of feel like they fit together, but you kind of got to push them together, and it doesn't really go in. And then once you put the whole rest of the puzzle around it together, they don't fit in the larger picture. But when you find the right puzzle piece, they slide right in and they fit everywhere they're supposed to.
Yeah.
I think that is like the perfect analogy for a great relationship. So you shouldn't run into too many issues. You shouldn't run into, it shouldn't be so hard.
It's not, yeah,
to make the relationship work.
People always say that. They always say, like, relationships take work. They take blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, they take work. Like, every relationship takes work.
But they
make it sound like it's, like, you know, like, when you hear, like, old married couples that are like, we've literally just stayed married because we don't believe in divorce or whatever, but they hate each other.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is stupid.
This is generational, passed down wisdom from people who were forced to stay in loveless marriages due to religion and the fear of being ostracized in their community.
Yeah.
Because divorce was looked down on, frowned upon, whatever. And so, you know, it kind of became, like we point out, I think comedy of the time is a good snapshot of, like, what's going on in that era. And if you look in the like 50s or 60s at the humor, like the comedians of the time, like the jokes back then were all like the "take my wife, please," and everyone's like, ha, ha, ha. I like, fucking hate my wife. I agree.
Leave. Yeah,
there's
a lot of, like, people, like, loving to joke that they hate their spouse, but they're not really joking, and that's, like, awful. I hate that. I think it's really weird.
Yeah. So I think because of that, we generationally have had that kind of, like, wisdom passed down, imparted upon us by the older generations that are like, look, they've been together for 50 years. Isn't that amazing? And it's like, if they were happy,
if they're
then
happy,
that's awesome.
And there's definitely people from that time that are genuinely
Absolutely.
like in love, and
Absolutely.
so that we're not talking about everyone. It's just
Of course not. But you shouldn't have to push that fucking hard.
No.
You're gonna have issues. You're gonna have problems.
Yeah,
but you shouldn't be having like considerations of separation. Like daily
weekly, or weekly,
where you're just kind of like, what the
or
fuck,
like,
dude, why even bother?
Also, like, if you think of, like, if I'm not with that person, would I be happier? Like, that shouldn't even be a thing, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it should be, like, I don't know. It sucks. If you're having relationship issues, I'm very sorry. And talk to your friends and family, because that stuff is really hard to deal with. But the other part that this film I think handles about, like, because you kind of talked about it, the identity aspect, right, is that when you're with somebody, whether or not it's a good or a bad relationship, inevitably parts of yourself and parts of them do intertwine, and you walk away either, you know, with good or bad aspects of that person. And that happens whether it's a romantic relationship or not. I think that happens with friendships and with like familial relationships and everything. It's just we all sort of impact each other in so many ways that you don't necessarily consciously think about all the time, unless it's, you know, a bad breakup and you're like, oh, I never want to listen to that song again. It makes me think of that person. And like we've all had that kind of experience, right? This film is like the epitome of losing all parts of yourself to become a couple instead of two people that are in a relationship together. And that's interesting because you can look at, like, you know, like if you look at a relationship like our relationship, like we're a partnership, we are a single unit, but we're also made up of two individual units.
Yeah.
So it's almost like there's three aspects to us, I would say. Like there's the Jason, and then there's the Kaylee, and then there's like the Sinisters.
But we never really alluded fully to our interpretations of this film last night. I know yours was having to deal with codependency.
Yes, I think this film is about codependency so much. I think he is insanely codependent on her. She is also on him to an extent, obviously, but he is really reliant on her. I mean, he literally has panic attacks when he's not around her, and obviously this is the effects of whatever the fuck is in the water that they drink. But just, you know, metaphorically speaking, he, like, doesn't know how to function without her in his life, and there's an anger and a, like I had said earlier, a resentment towards that. And in the end, instead of walking away from it, he decides to like completely join with her and lose all that was him before.
Sure, but the only way out in a relationship like this is death of one person. And I think that's supposed to be more metaphorical for, like, if we split, then you're never gonna see me again. Like, we have to be completely disconnected from one another because we cannot help but try to be together. There is no friendship here. There's no, you know, getting together once in a while to check up on one another. No, there's going to be a complete separation of the two parts. And neither one of them ultimately wants to do that. She's willing to sacrifice herself and walk away.
Yeah.
But he's not, and she, you know, she's bleeding to death, and he, she comes up, and she's alive still, and he's put his hand over hers, and it's like, we can't live without each other.
Yeah.
And I think, so, I mean, and I also think you can also look at this more of like, you know, when you're young, you think that your options are limitless and that you need to, because like modern dating is fucking awful, right? There's always an overbalancing of the scales from one to the other. Like on the opposite end of the spectrum, like we were talking about earlier in the 50s and whatever and before, it was like married out of high school to the fucking guy that you met when you were like 14. You waited to have sex with him, and then you had 2.4 kids and a white picket fence, and you stayed with them no matter what. And, you barely even like each other. You never even knew each other. Nobody talked about their feelings. Men were men, women were women. That kind of bullshit, right? So then you kind of go to more modern times. And now everyone, especially women, want to have a detached thing. Oh, I'm not really looking for anything serious. I just kind of want to, have fun, date around. And no one is really interested in a monogamous relationship. Generalizing, of course, once again, but that's more of like the norm now. If you go on dating apps, if you go on anything, and they don't want any kind of commitment. They don't want to be tied down. I think a part of that has to do with social media and the fact that you feel like your options are genuinely limitless,
right? You're
and
like,
that there's a way,
anyone.
And you're like on fucking, especially a woman, she goes on Bumble or she goes on wherever the fuck, and she has 800 messages in her inbox, and when her boyfriend, whoever she's hanging out with, pisses her off, it's like 700 dudes are waiting in line. They've got their tickets, and they're like, I'll treat you better. And it's like the drop of a hat. If anything happens, and they're like, I'm fucking out, right? So there's no sense of commitment or desire to have a monogamous relationship anymore. And you've got those two generations kind of butting up against each other, and us people like Dave Franco and Alison Brie's characters, who are in their 40s like I am, we're kind of sandwiched in between those two generations. We're kind of seeing what was before and what is now, right? And we are kind of like, well, shit, right? They're so polar opposites of one another, and they are very much in that shit or get off the pot stage of their life, where it's like, okay, we're not old, but we're sure as fuck not young anymore, and it's like, it's time to grow up. He's supposed to be 35 in the movie,
he's
right?
like in his mid-30s.
And so with her, it's kind of like, okay, like, I'm ready, let's do this. Right? And he's like, I don't know. And as I said, my interpretation of that is that, this is kind of like people who have cold feet, and they're fighting against the next step, right? Because when we take those final plunges, right, like when you have a kid, or when you get married, or when you buy a house, or these are those like steps that you're taking towards death in your mind, where it's like, okay, this is it. My dating life is now over, right? I had kids. Now my young single, like, kidless life is over, right? There's a fear there of commitment to things.
Sure.
You have a 30-year mortgage. You have a wife that you've now, committed to for life. You have kids that are for life, right? So there is this inherent fear in people, especially the more modern times. And I feel like this movie does a good job of illustrating, like, those kind of cold feet feels of once you finally commit to, like, what's really drawing you. Because he's trying to go to his auditions, right? He's trying to get away. She's trying to have her life and think about, like, something without him. And she's even talking to this dude who looks like he could be a better match. He ends up being gay, and it's like part of the cult and everything. But at first, it looks like maybe an option. He's a teacher, kind of flirty with her too. Absolutely,
for sure.
And I feel like this is just like them finally committing to the idea of being a unified front, as being a couple. And that's more of like, but I completely see the, like, fear of commitment and toxic relationship interpretation as well.
I think I can totally see your side, because ultimately, because we see the other couple in this that gets conjoined, and they're monstrous because they've been fighting it. Like, the one guy's trying to kill himself, and
they're like literally dying without each other.
Right.
And they're better together.
Yes. So, because what I was gonna say is, like, in the end, they come together out of love, so they do get to actually have, like, a better experience. Like, they're unified and not like a monster and in pain and agony like the other couple is.
Yeah.
So ultimately, it's a good ending for the movie. Like, it could have been a lot worse for them.
It's exactly what I expected it to be.
Yeah, and it's a really
even
interesting,
them being
like,
one
idea.
Person, like, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah,
because of the picture of the two guys,
right?
And it's clearly like they took the actor, and they took his features and they split them apart and made them into two pictures of two people that kind of look like both.
I thought they were like twins or something for a second. I was like, are those brothers? And then he's like, oh, like that was my husband or whatever. And I was like, oh, I see what
it's
happens.
an amalgamation of their faces, cool. Which is really cool.
Yeah, you know, and it's all going off of that myth of like humans used to have
Osiris.
Yeah, the two parts, which is very romantic, like when you think about soulmates and stuff, but
shout out to Hedwig and the Angry Inch. I can't help but think about it anytime I'm going to hear this. You know, I grew up watching Hedwig. It came out when I was probably 19. For anyone who hasn't seen Hedwig and the Angry Inch, listen to the song "The Origin of Love." At least that. I think you should watch the movie. It's probably my second favorite musical of all time, behind La La Land. And that actually makes me cry every single time I listen to that song or watch it in the movie, because I think it is so romantic and beautiful, and it's about the gods splitting apart two people who are like, and sex is what brings us back together.
Yeah, which is it's very romantic. And I do love that idea. Like, I like the idea that you can, you know, find a soulmate and be with them, and that, you know, like, you share so much with them. But what you were saying earlier, where people are like afraid of the commitment, and it's like a death of parts of themselves and stuff, I think that really is like a shitty thing that society has set up, because it's like you could have a relationship that lasts through your 30s, split up in your 40s, find another person and be with them, you know, for 20 plus 30 years, you know what I mean? Like, you can have multiple...
Your 40s?
Yeah.
You could be with someone for 50 years
like,
if you met them in your 40s.
But I'm just saying, like, you can have very long relationships with people that end well and bad, whatever, and then meet another person and have a really intense, wonderful connection. Like, I love the thought of soulmates, and I do think, like, I think of you as a soulmate, but I also think there's possibilities for other soulmates in the world, you know? Like, there's other kindred spirits out there that you would have a connection with in some way. So I don't know, but I think maybe that plays into it, though, where people are like, I don't want to make the wrong choice, but it's like, you're not making a wrong choice. Like, you're just living your life. You just have to do stuff. Sometimes you, like, you know, aren't a right fit with somebody, or, you know, do some job that you hate, but, like, there's always a chance. Like, it's never too late for you to change things and to make yourself happier, you know? But with relationships, it feels so, you know, it's one of the most important parts of our lives, and that's why it feels so devastating when you go through a breakup or, you know, whatever. It's like the end of the world, and that sucks. But with them in this, I just think that they're a really bad match. Like, they do have chemistry together, obviously, but it's hard to tell, too. I mean, because that stuff in their, like, that they drank is magnetizing them towards each other.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to tell, because, okay, like, just going back to, like, the film, I know we were talking about it, but then we started talking about, like, our interpretation. His mom and dad, like, his dad dies. And that's, like, one of my favorite parts of, like, the horror aspects in this, is the visual that we get. First of his dream in the opening, when she's, like, talking to him and not looking at him and saying, like, we know that you resent me. I talked to my friends about you. And that's really fucking scary. And then she's like, can you tell them to stop looking at me? Like, I can't sleep while they're looking at me. And it pans over, and the bed is super long, and his mom is down there looking so scary. And we come to find out that, so his dad died, and his mom fucking had a mental breakdown and couldn't handle, and just was, like, going about her day, like, sleeping next to him and stuff. And that's
a very important part of the film.
Very important, because that is, like, a huge fear, where I'm like, okay, yeah, like, if you died, I would have a fucking mental breakdown, probably, you know? Like, it would be really hard to wrap your head around it. And where I was going with that initially is that the whole reason he can't have sex with her is because he's fucking, like, dealing with trauma from losing his parents and finding them that way, because he found them. He found his dad rotting and found his mom, like, sitting there scary and freaky next to him. And it would be a lot to, like, you're reconciling your parents, who are your blueprint for how you think a relationship should work.
Yeah.
And then now you have your relationship, so it's, like, a really complicated situation for him. And the only reason I was bringing that up is because I feel like the thing that's in their bodies is what's making them kind of, like have sex and have chemistry again, not necessarily what they're organically feeling, because I don't think he's really ready for it.
Yeah, but it would definitely take something profound to make you not want to sleep with Alison Brie, so he must be really fucked up. But I think that's an insanely important part of the film, because, you know, if you take both of the characters, right, he has a background with a family where his father dies, his mother loses his mind, right, his relationship, you know, like, what's the word I'm trying to look for here, like, what he looks towards as a relationship.
Oh, like the role model?
Yeah, models. That's what he has, right? Yeah. And then we get to see the flip of that with her. This is pretty typical, right? The person who grew up with the family who is all fucked up, they have fucked up relationship values. Yeah. For the most part, generalizations, but that's what we're doing here. And then look at her side of things. Her parents show up. They're older. They're still together. Yeah. Right? She's the one that wants what her parents had. Right, and then he's terrified to have that with her.
Because he's like, what if it ends like how my family...
What if, you know, I die, or what if she dies? Right. What if, you know, there's more to it than that. I don't think their relationship is bad. I just think that he isn't able to commit to it.
Right.
If he was able to commit to it, I think they are a strong couple. It's just that they have issues that he hasn't dealt with.
Yeah.
He isn't dealing with his inner demons. That's not allowing, because I think they are a good match.
Sure, in
he's
other
just
ways.
Fucked up.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that I think sometimes people, you know, your partner should be somebody that you can rely on, but sometimes there's things that you really have to deal with on your own, and like nobody else can help you with that. It's good to have the support, but it's like, I think this is for him that kind of situation where being in a relationship doesn't actually help him in this. Like, he needs to kind of deal with that trauma before he can commit. At least that's how I thought. But
well, what's up with this church? So
the church is creepy.
So the church has all these bells.
Yeah.
And they ring the bells when they come to the door, right?
Yeah.
Like they've had a bell, which I guess they've now joined the cult in the end.
Yes.
But we see like a passage or a pathway lined by these bells that lead to this place. Now, more to my argument towards why I think this is more of like a commitment film is that the couple that goes missing, they went missing months ago.
Yeah.
Right? And when he finds them in that cave, they are still separated. And there's a knife in one of their throats. Yeah. Like, they did not want to be together. Yeah. They're trying every single thing in their power to stay separated. Their bodies are trying to pull them together. They've been in that cave for months. They're still like this. We know her parents are supposed to come on like Friday, which is in like 2 days. And when they finally fully commit to it, when they come to answer the door, it's one person.
Right. That's what that guy says.
So they are fully unified very quickly when they accept it. And when they won't accept it, they are not ever unified. Yeah. Right? So it's about acceptance. It's about giving in to it.
He's like, you have to be open to it. Otherwise, you won't like the alternative. So it's like, the
alternative
is about acceptance.
One or both of you die.
Right.
Right?
It's
and the one chose death.
Yeah.
They had a freaking a blade in their knife. Now, whether or not the one killed the other one, like, I don't want to be with you, or they killed themselves, I don't know.
I don't know. Like, so, like, to take the film literally, like, I would not want to physically merge with you like that. Yeah. It would be terrifying. If you were in that situation where our bodies were sticking together, you were eating my hair, and, like, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of stuff, it would be so beyond frightening.
My dick stuck in you?
That's, like, one of the best scenes in a movie I feel like we've seen in a while. I love the sex scene. I think it's so good because they're so, like, frantic and, like, they haven't had sex and they're fucking in the bathroom and it's so, like, naughty and wrong.
So inappropriate.
So bad.
Yeah.
So bad. And then his fucking dick is stuck in her, and that is, like, also terrifying because you're like, oh my god, like, is she gonna rip it off? Like, what's about to happen here?
I would have liked to see, like, the aftermath of, like, how much skin was ripped off.
Oh my god. It had to have been so brutal. Painful. But yeah, like, if you fight it, you turn into a monster. So it's like, yeah, in this world, in that situation where it's literally happening,
but
you
sex
have
is, like,
to
what
accept
brings them together.
Right.
Right, which is...
Well, because that's, like, when you think about it, from, like, sex is that. It is the physical unity. Even with, men and, like, whether you're a lesbian or gay or straight or whatever, right? Like, you're physically unifying with somebody.
Yeah.
Obviously, I mean, I guess it's the same with men, too, but, like, with men and women, it's, like, fit together like that. Like, so...
Does this work on people who aren't a couple? Because at the beginning, we get a dog.
It happens to, I think, whoever, like... So, okay, the cult, the church,
so
right?
What if 10 people went down there and drank the water together?
I don't know. Well, 10 is an even number. One. So they might, like, just separate into pairs.
Okay, 9.
Yeah, I don't know. But,
or
like,
3.
the cult is, like, definitely, like, I think they found this well.
Yeah.
Right? They found this anomaly and formed around that, and, like, that's all it's about. It's about unity.
Why
unifying.
Did it fall into the ground, do you think?
I don't know.
Why did the church collapse?
I don't know why the church collapsed.
Because the guy who is the teacher, he seems to be very happy with the results.
Super happy. And he even says like the remaining members like have scattered. So I am only assuming that they're like in that community probably. That other people that live there have been unified.
Well, he's a blending of 2 men.
It's a little bit, yeah.
Right, so, like, it's pretty obvious of what happened to him, but with them, when it's over and we see that person that answers the door...
The androgynous.
Very androgynous, yeah. So, like...
It's fascinating.
Hermaphroditic? Like,
I don't know.
Are we talking about...
They
have a penis and a vagina?
I would assume they have both.
You think?
Yeah. I would think they would have both. Because they have
or
parts
none at
of
all.
each of them.
Maybe they have no sex organs because...
I mean, they don't need to have sex because they're together.
They're one.
But they do need to use the bathroom. So, the house that they move into also is beautiful. I was, like, in love with that house with the stained glass windows, and it's, like, covered in ivy and stuff. Really beautiful house. Like, great. Yeah, the scene where he's eating her hair is fucking super scary. I hate that. When they wake up in the cave after they've been sleeping there, and she's like, like doing that thing, super scary. Her eyes are freaky, so big.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good moments, and obviously the body horror in this, when they try and sleep in separate rooms, and then he like wakes up to his muscles like moving him across. That is so freaky.
Pulls up his shirt and it's like
his abs are like just moving him.
Yeah.
And she's, like, contortioning towards him.
When she tries to, like, stop on the chair and it, like, breaks her legs.
Yeah, that's at the
head.
end, yeah.
That's great as well.
Crazy. Yeah.
I can't not point out the fact that, because I'm from the 90s, so, of course, I knew this immediately when I was watching it. The song that they put on from the Spice Girls record is literally called To Become One.
Yeah.
So as soon as I heard it, I was like, well, that's a brilliant song choice for the title. And just the lyrics as well, when 2 become 1. So, yeah, great song choice there. This is that really is the perfect song choice for that scene. And once again, like, more argument in my favor of, like, when 2 become 1. Like, that they're meant to be together, because that song's all about, like, it can be interpreted as sex, but it's a much more romantic song than that. I grew up on, I didn't grow up on it, but I've listened to it quite a few times, and it's about unifying through sex. but they're literally becoming one human.
I feel so bad for those dogs at the beginning.
So she knows how to play guitar now, and he knows how to drive.
Like, they do complete each other.
Well, and that's what the guy says,
Yeah.
right? Like, you guys complete each other.
Which, yeah, I mean, that's a good point, because I do think, like, that's part of the benefit of having a partner is, like, your weaknesses, like, if they have a strength that you're weak in, like, you get to kind of rely on each other. Like, I hate talking to people out in public, and you don't. So you could do that.
So then you would kind of hate it.
Yeah,
right. Somewhere
we
in the
would
middle.
like kind of hate it, but I'm talking about like in real life, like, you know, you get to kind of balance each other.
So what happens when the school teacher, who has the partner that became one, and then Allison Brie and Dave Franco's character, who have now become one? What if they go down there and drink?
So there'd
together?
Be 4 people
would
together.
Would they merge into one person?
I think so.
Wow.
Which would be crazy. What I want to know is, like,
who's left?
How do they, like, okay...
I want to know how their brains work.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, how do they think? Like, is it... Because it can't be separate. It's all together. So, that's what I mean.
This is where
like, ultimately,
it's a metaphorical film.
They do both die. Like, they're a new being. Like, that's what I kind of was meaning earlier. Like,
well, when she hits the teacher, he splits. Right?
Yes,
so
which is interesting.
They're not like... So,
like views, like, overlaying each other?
What I was thinking of when the reason I brought up the bells earlier is because of Venom. So, in Spider-Man 3, when a bell is rang, the vibration from the bell separates the Venom symbiote from the host.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what tears it away from them.
See,
and it's like, I thought I thought somewhere in the movie it was going to be known that, like, when the bell is rang, that their bodies can actually unmerge if they ever want to separate.
Maybe. I
don't think that's what it is at all.
I don't
they
know.
ring the bell and she just comes to the door and it's totally fine.
And there's like a spiral symbol, which I don't really know what that has to do with anything. It's funny because, like, when I think about, like, a symbiotic relationship like Venom, like, that I weirdly feel, like, better with, but I think it's because one entity is kind of more in charge than the other. Whereas with this, it feels like it's, like I was saying, like, they're just kind of one new entity. But you're right, though. Like, when they split, like, when she hits the teacher, he does kind of, like, separate. So I don't really know what's going on with that. Like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
But, like, the way I thought of it,
that's almost supposed to clue the audience in on it if they were dumb and didn't get it.
I think so too. Maybe it was just kind of for that. But
could she hit them hard enough that they split back into 2 people?
I think they would just combine again, though. They kind of, like, something in that water is just like.
But they can't. Like, they can't. If you were to put them on a plane and go in opposite directions, they just die, right?
Yeah, is that
ultimately what would happen?
I think so. I mean, like, yeah, we get,
further
like,
they get away from each other.
When
he's in the shower and she's driving and he's like,
that's in the trailer, but it's a great scene because it would be like, oh my god, it's just, that's the codependency. And then when he gets
only happening
dropped
to him
off at first because
he's the one who
they
drinks.
both drink. Though, I thought, because I think he gives her the cup, right?
He's like,
it wouldn't happen to her if she didn't drink. But that's where I'm saying he's codependent.
In the beginning.
Because he maybe he drank more. I don't know, but, like, he's the codependent one. So it's like whenever she leaves,
I think it's because
he, like, freaks out.
He's fighting it and she's not. He's trying to leave.
Yeah.
He's trying to go have another life away from her, and she's totally all in.
Maybe that's a good point.
So I think the reason it's affecting him more is because he's rejecting the inevitability.
Yeah.
She wants to be together. She's ready for full commitment. She wants marriage. She wants them to live in that house together. She wants him to get a job and be there as a couple together, and he's trying to still do his old thing. He's trying to get on the train. He's trying to leave. He's trying to have a different life away from her. And I think because of that, in his head, he's not fully committed to it. And her cells, she's like on a cellular level, she's literally committed to him.
Yeah. That's a good interpretation. Maybe that is what's going on with her.
That's the only thing I can think of.
What was I going to say?
No. We're not one yet.
Yet. What was I going to say? Dang, I totally lost my train of thought because I was listening to you, and then I was just like, I don't know what I was thinking about.
That's okay. But yeah.
Oh, I remember. I was just going to say the moral of this story is don't drink water that you find in a cave.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Still water.
Yeah, it probably was still water. Well, no, it wasn't, because there was, like, rain coming into it. Like, it was underneath a hole.
Yeah, but it was still for a long time.
So it's not still. Oh, you're right.
I mean,
no, because it would probably rain more.
It would depend.
I think still water has to be, like, completely, like, nothing is making it move and touch it. And then there's gross bacteria and, like, evil things that grow in it.
Well, if it's like a puddle and it's just sitting there,
that's
then
not
yes.
still water though.
But then because it's on top of something that there's a flow to it underneath, like a well. Then
I don't understand how, like, with still water, if you touch it,
I don't know.
Like, if you just, like, touch it, you can, like, get messed up.
I don't know. I don't know anything
crazy.
about it.
Like, not even
I'm not
drinking it. Somebody knows in our comments that is, like, an expert on still water.
That's why you gotta carry those bacteria flashlights with you when you...
So you can see it?
No.
What?
No, you take the water and then you use the flashlight, and the flashlight kills all of the bacteria in it when you shine it through.
I thought the flashlight just shows you the bacteria.
No, it makes it drinkable. There's also tablets that you can throw in the water.
I don't think those would work with this water, though.
No, not with this water.
I think this water would be like, nice try, guys.
Yeah, right. So, well,
yeah.
Kaylee and I are going to go become one, or at least we're going to try.
We'll do our best.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, anytime you body horror, this reminded me sometimes of The Thing.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking that. I like that there's sex in this. I think there needs to be more sex in body horror because...
society?
Yeah. Well, you know, sex is like... I don't know. Sex is a weird thing that we do, that people do.
I don't think it's
anything
weird
does.
at all.
It's weird in some ways. You don't ever get, like... I don't know. You don't ever think about it a little bit too much, I guess. Not while it's happening.
I think about it a lot.
I mean, just like the act of
lot.
it. Like, yeah. Anyway.
I get what you're saying.
I think it's kind of weird sometimes, but it's good.
It is.
It's really good. It's like kissing is weird too.
Yes.
You know, like it's those kinds of things where it's like I feel like if you get too intellectual about it, you're like, this is fucking weird.
Sure.
But if you're like in your body, then it feels good, and you're like, oh, this is great. And you're not really thinking about it like that. But I like when body horror incorporates sex because, like we sort of said in our spoiler-free discussion.
Because you're terrified of sex.
No, I'm not terrified of sex.
Clearly.
The discomfort and, like, disgust and all that, like, I think it can be really amplified, though.
We had someone in our comments tell us that when the sex scene happened, some couple got up and, like, the woman was berating him all the way out of the theater. Like, why did you bring me to this sick film? And then they told me that the person they were sitting next to ate 4 full bananas during the movie.
What?
Just randomly would pull out a banana and eat another one and another one.
Can't you have too many bananas? Like, too much potassium?
I mean, more than anything, I would worry about sugar levels.
They were next to a monkey.
Bananas don't have as much potassium as you think they do.
That's crazy.
Like, they're known for potassium, but it's more like other foods have higher potassium levels, like beet tops, stuff like that, have way more potassium than bananas.
Wow.
Bananas are actually, you got to worry about the sugar content, especially the more soft and sugary that they are. Then you can really elevate your glucose levels. One thing I do know is nutrition. I've studied the fuck out of that. Anyway, that's that. Yeah. Is there anything else I thought of? We get to see Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Allison Brie's titties.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
She's beautiful.
Yeah. I like that she does this, like, no makeup look.
Yeah, she looks...
She really has... I genuinely don't think she's wearing almost, like, any or if
She's wearing makeup.
You think?
But very little, probably.
I don't know.
Guys always do this thing.
I don't know.
They always, like, for
some
some reason,
This
guys
ain't
can
no
never
fucking
tell.
natural look thing.
She has eyeshadow on. I guarantee you there are scenes where she has eyeshadow on. There are scenes where she has lip
You're telling me that this is like
100%. If anything,
this is a makeup look.
Yes, there is a
natural?
no makeup look.
No.
No, I'm not joking.
I'm
that's
not saying that that's not true. I'm telling you that I've seen that. We talk about it in, like, when we watch films all the time, and it's clear that's like they're trying to look normal, but this does not look like that.
She
this
probably
looks
has really
like
minimal makeup on, but like for most
extremely
films,
minimal.
even guys, like, there's makeup used on film. But yeah, she probably has really minimal makeup. I mean, she's a beautiful woman.
She is, like, but they would like. I just commend her for going for an insanely natural look in this film, and I feel like she's been doing that lately in things where she's wearing almost nothing at all. Because any other film or any other actress in this film would have had a full face of makeup on the entire film, but I feel like it adds to it for me.
Yeah,
she looks great. I mean, because she's fucking phenomenally gorgeous.
I can almost guarantee you that she's wearing makeup. Though.
I don't know.
It's okay.
I
you don't have to know.
I usually agree with you. I'm usually like, yeah, of course she's wearing makeup. It makes it look like she's naturally like that. But this is not flattering.
Well,
the makeup in the movie, if there's makeup on her, it's only meant to make her look less flattering. There is no attempt to make her look prettier in this movie. That I'll tell you for sure. The makeup is
it's just natural. It's supposed to just be like, but anyway, yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
That's that.
Yeah.
So, we said a lot.
We did.
I didn't even really get to fully articulate my thoughts on the whole, like, men are physically stronger than women, and women have to use their, emotional.
Yeah. That was way at the beginning.
That was, and I like fixated on that for like I almost stopped the recording like 10 different times. It's like I don't think I got to say that properly, and people are going to be like, "Meh," about that.
Oh no!
And I'm like, I really have something to say about that, but I'm not going to bother with it now. If you didn't get what I was trying to say, that's fine. Get mad at me. I think women have to use their mental attacks. They'll go after you. Verbally.
No, I use my
because they can't
mental attack.
Physically take you over, so they have to verbally or emotionally take you down, right? Like they attack you emotionally or with your words because they can't physically take you down. I mean, obviously you get a bat or a gun or something, but for the most part, that's how women have adapted to the strength disparity.
What's the guy from X-Men? That's
Which
Xavier?
One? There's a million.
Professor Xavier? He's like
Professor X?
That's me. That's mentally taking down all the men.
Take them all down, babe. Alright. That's that. Check out Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Check out the movie Else.
Yes.
Another great body horror movie from this year. And what are your interpretations if you're even still here?
Yeah.
We'll see you in the comments.
Bye.
Adios.
Do we want to start?
Did that already.
We can do it again.
Did that
let's
already.
Put our eyeballs together.
We should fucking just...
Look at me. You gotta look at him.
We're not doing that. What we should do is we should just have one of us sitting here.
With a wig.
Yeah.
But we don't have a...
I'm casing.
Jaylee.
Jaylee.
Kaysen or Jaylee?